Did you know that the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, was born in a small two-room house in Tupelo, Mississippi? Indeed, the story of Elvis begins on a cold winter's day, January 8, 1935, in a modest setting far removed from the glitz and glamour he would later come to embody. Elvis wasn't alone in his mother's womb. He was to be a twin, but destiny had other plans. His brother Jesse Garon, who was delivered 35 minutes before him, was tragically stillborn. This left Elvis as the sole beacon of hope for his parents, Gladys Love and Vernon Elvis Presley, who were of humble means. Struggling to make ends meet, they could hardly have imagined that their newborn son would grow up to be a global phenomenon, a cultural icon whose influence would transcend borders and generations. Thus, in the humblest of conditions, the king of rock and roll took his first breath. Elvis's journey to stardom began at the age of 10 when he won a talent contest at the Mississippi-Alabama Fair and Dairy Show. This early victory was a harbinger of the immense fame that awaited this boy from Tupelo, Mississippi. In 1948, when Elvis was just 13, his family moved to Memphis, Tennessee. The vibrant city, humming with the eclectic sounds of blues, gospel, and country music, would play a pivotal role in shaping his musical sensibilities. These diverse influences would later find expression in his unique style, a fusion of genres that was unheard of at the time. Fast forward to 1953. Elvis, barely out of his teens, walked into Sun Records to make his first recording. This was not a chart-topping hit, but it was a significant step. It marked the beginning of his professional relationship with Sam Phillips, the owner of Sun Records. Phillips recognized the raw talent in Elvis, a talent that was waiting for the right platform. And that platform arrived in 1956 with Elvis's first big hit, Heartbreak Hotel. This song was a runaway success, topping the Billboard Pop Singles chart for 7 weeks and selling over 1 million copies. Elvis's soulful voice, coupled with his charismatic stage presence, resonated with the audience. He was not just singing a song, he was creating an experience that people couldn't get enough of. The success of Heartbreak Hotel catapulted Elvis to national fame. He became a household name, and his unique brand of rock and roll started to redefine the musical landscape. Elvis was not just a singer, he was a phenomenon, a force that was pushing the boundaries of what music could be. He was challenging the status quo, and in doing so, he was giving voice to a new generation, a generation that was ready to break free from the conventions of the past. And so, a star was born, and the music industry was forever changed. The boy from Tupelo, who had dreamed of becoming a singer, was now the king of rock and roll, and his reign was just beginning. Elvis's unique style and energetic performances captivated audiences, earning him the title the King of Rock and Roll. His incredible talent was evident in his ability to cross over different music genres, from country to gospel, rhythm and blues to pop. But it was in rock and roll where Elvis truly found his home. Let's take a stroll down memory lane and remember some of his most famous songs. Who could forget the tender strains of Love Me Tender? This ballad, released in 1956, showcased Elvis's softer side, his soulful voice melting hearts around the world. Then there was Jailhouse Rock, a song that is as much a cultural icon as Elvis himself. Its energetic rhythm and Elvis's charismatic vocals made it a timeless classic. And of course there was Suspicious Minds, a song that encapsulates the depth and range of Elvis's vocal prowess. These songs, among many others, became the soundtrack to a generation, defining the era and etching Elvis's name in the annals of music history. But Elvis's influence wasn't limited to just music. He was a trendsetter in fashion as well, his style as iconic as his voice. Who could forget his flamboyant jumpsuits, the high collars, the capes, the belts studded with faux jewels? His hair, slicked back and dyed jet black, became a trademark look. His unique style became a symbol of rebellion for the youth of the time, a visual representation of the cultural revolution he was spearheading. Elvis also made a name for himself in the world of cinema. His good looks and natural charisma made him a hit on the silver screen. Whether he was playing a troubled youth in Rebel Without a Cause or a singing race car driver in Viva Las Vegas, Elvis brought the same energy and passion to his acting roles as he did to his music. Elvis Presley was not just a singer or an actor, he was a cultural phenomenon. Behind the glitz and glamour of stardom, Elvis Presley led a complex personal life. The king of rock and roll had a side to him that was often shielded from the limelight, a side that revealed a man of depth and spirituality. Elvis's life took a significant turn when he met Priscilla Beaulieu during his stint in the army. He was 24, and she was just 14. Despite the age difference, a unique bond formed between them. Eventually, their relationship blossomed into love, leading to their wedding in 1967. Their union was a spectacle, an event that captivated the world. Yet amidst the fanfare, they shared a genuine love and respect for each other. A year later, the couple welcomed their only child, Lisa Marie Presley. Elvis was a doting father, and Lisa Marie was the apple of his eye. Their father-daughter relationship was filled with tender moments, many of which Lisa Marie cherishes to this day. Beyond his family, another significant aspect of Elvis's personal life was his deep connection to religion and spirituality. Raised in a devoutly religious household, Elvis had a lifelong love for gospel music. He often turned to it for solace during challenging times. Even at the height of his career, when rock and roll ruled his world, gospel music remained his anchor, his source of comfort and inspiration. Elvis's spiritual beliefs also influenced his music. His songs often reflected his faith, his search for meaning, his struggles, and his hopes. This spiritual dimension added a layer of depth to his music, making it resonate with listeners on a deeper level. Despite his fame, Elvis was a man of simple tastes and deep spiritual beliefs. His personal life, often overshadowed by his larger-than-life persona, reveals a man who valued love, family, and faith above all. It is this side of Elvis, the man behind the king, that makes his story truly compelling and relatable. Elvis Presley's untimely death on August 16, 1977 sent shockwaves around the world. The king of rock and roll had left the building, leaving behind a legacy that continues to resonate today. His sudden departure from this world at the young age of 42 was a tragedy that was felt far and wide. The public's reaction was one of disbelief and sorrow. The king, with his electrifying performances and soulful tunes, had touched the hearts of millions, and his absence created a void that could never be filled. His influence on rock and roll and musical culture, however, remains as vibrant as ever. He single-handedly transformed the landscape of popular music, injecting it with an energy and flair that was uniquely Elvis. His style was an eclectic mix of gospel, blues, and country, which he melded together to create a sound that was entirely his own. But Elvis's legacy extends beyond his music. He was instrumental in breaking down racial barriers in the music industry, paving the way for future generations of artists. His flamboyant style and charismatic persona set a new standard for stage presence, and his bold fashion choices continue to inspire musicians and designers alike. Even after his passing, Elvis's impact on popular culture and music persists. His songs are still played on radio stations around the world, his movies continue to captivate audiences, and his image is as recognizable now as it was during his heyday. Elvis's life, while marred by struggles and controversies, is a testament to the enduring power of music and the indomitable spirit of creativity. He pushed boundaries, challenged norms, and dared to be different. And in doing so, he became more than just a singer or an actor. He became a cultural icon, a symbol of rebellion and freedom, an embodiment of the American dream. The king may be gone, but his legacy lives on. Long live the king.